Hi guys, I'm Blonde with Lego and that is definitely my legal name though, don't look it up. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be having a look at this massive Lego MOC which I built. I'm very super duper proud and humble about it. It's called the Lego Poseidon because I got Poseidon on it. Get it? Seriously, I am so punny. But yeah, so this is my massive Lego MOC. Tens of thousands of Lego bricks went into making this, and as you can just see, that is the Lego Titanic alongside, and it is just absolutely dwarfed by the sheer scale of it. So I would just go along and along and along because it actually takes ages to walk around it. So, and this is the other side of the massive Lego ship, guys, with three massive turbines, and of course that is the overhang, and I've even got Jack and Rose having like a little conversation right there on the back decks. Basically got a very dead person coming up from the engine room, dead with sweat, seriously. And yeah, even got some machine gun emplacements, all kind of trap doors, some platforms for fireworks, and just all sorts of little Easter eggs on this bad boy. So without further ado, let's get started in exploring the ship, basically, because I will be conducting this as a review. Now you're probably thinking, Danielle, what the hell is the Lego Eiffel Tower doing on your ship? Well guys, as you know, I heavily based this set off the Lego Titanic. There it is in my custom iceberg for it. And as you can see, the Titanic has these things called funnels, but unfortunately I do not have the correct Lego pieces to basically build funnels at this scale. So I thought, what's better than a funnel? And that is this giant, massive mast, which actually came from the Eiffel Tower set. And I just wanted something to kind of, you know, break up the very flat platform of it all. So yeah, that is why I decided to plonk my Eiffel Tower, or at least part of it, because if I put all of it on it, the roof would definitely collapse into the bottom of the ship. And yeah, that is basically to just kind of break things up and make it just look even taller. And you know, it is like a lot of ego height, seriously. I mean, you know, skyscrapers, their highest occupied floor isn't like where their spire is. So I don't know, yeah, and I just think it looks super duper neat. So that is the Eiffel Tower spire. Next, you've got these massive flag masts, which are held up by these ropes, and that goes down to the very bottom of the ship. And as you can see, just looking up at it, look at all of those Lego pieces. I mean, geez. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, how many Lego pieces did I even use? Believe me, I lost count, so do not put it in the comments like, how many Lego pieces exactly? I would just say tens of thousands, so I don't know. That is the only answer I can give, guys, basically. So, and starting at the very front of the ship, this basically will begin the review. We've got lovely Lord Business, got some chairs to sit down, and that is the first flag marking off this massive ship, basically. And you've also got a little hidden compartment where I like to hide coins sometimes, but I don't know, there's like a bunch of dust in there, so just ignore that. Sorry, I will put that away. And yeah, the length of the ship, sorry. Seriously, I'm just so overwhelmed right now. It was very heavy to bring out into the garden, and I had to do it all by hand, and I didn't of course carry it in one piece. It comes into 3 sections, just like the Lego Titanic, and you can very vaguely see the lines along that. So that is one section there, and that is the other section there, much more prominently though. Looks like it broke in half a bit, but you know, that's just where the table isn't aligned properly. Anyway, so it's in 3 sections. I carried it into the garden. Forgive me, I'm a bit out of breath right now because I'm still cooling down. That is some good cardio, let me tell you. And yeah, the full length of the ship is 14 feet. Now that is not 14 Lego feet, that is 14 foot, seriously guys. So definitely a good few meters long, 14 foot, seriously. And I built this over the course of, let me say, 3 weeks, because there was sourcing the pieces for it, there was sorting all the pieces out beforehand, and then actually building the thing, if I'm going to be totally honest, probably took about 5 days. But that is discounting all of the time I spent getting all the pieces ready, sorted, organised, planning the designs of the ship, because as you know, I'm a bit of a naval architect and I just love my ship. So, you know, a lot of planning and substance went into actually crafting this absolute behemoth, which I've called the Poseidon. Yes, the R.M.S. Poseidon, because you know, I needed to updo the Titanic. I mean, mine's actually named after a god, so, you know, I'm not saying it's better, but, you know, kind of is me being totally humble. Anyway, so yeah, that is the massive Poseidon. Probably took 5 days to build, much longer to sort the pieces, and beginning over here because I get sidetracked so much, honestly. So that is Lord Business. Got some anchors which do actually go up and down on either side by rotating these anchor arms, so you can raise or lower the anchor. Again, there's not nearly enough chain that you'd need, but, you know, I feel like it's still kind of sufficient. You've got a whole level in here, all of these pretty little windows, and of course that goes along to this first deck, which is of course heavily based on this deck here because this ship draws so much inspiration from the Titanic, or at least I did. So next you've got a lovely little viewing platform for the officers. As you can see, there is one absolutely panicked that I'm staring at him, just like, what is that giant there? So, you know, you don't need to be scared of me though. Yet, seriously. Can't wait for me to finish my sentence, guys. Anyway, so that is the viewing platform. Next, you've got some kind of rail, which I wanted to use because I wanted to put these lovely anti-aircraft guns on some sort of railway so they could kind of, you know, pivot and rotate with the ship to, you know, kind of, you know, defend off any pirates or anything. Next, there's a massive windscreen here, and that's where it is. It's actually a bunch of garage door pieces in Lego attached together, and that rests comfortably on these chairs which I've got sticking out on the sides of the track, and that is to basically create a windshield for the vast superstructure that you're seeing over there, as well as this massive dome here, and of course there is one on the other side of the ship as well that I will show you. So yep, there are just some little lifeboats resting comfortably on each side here as well. And that is the lookout post. As you can see, they are just doing a marvellous time. I'm sure they're not going to hit any icebergs. I'm sure that's not going to happen. Seriously, guys. No, I'm just joking. Iceberg, what? The ship is unsinkable. Trademark, honestly. But yeah, next you got some lovely flags going up the top, and these are just random flags that I got from Lego, guys. Honestly, I didn't have a lot of pieces left after I made this massive ship, to be honest, so you know. Anyway, so next going along, you've got a lovely skylight which is supposed to give you a view to the lower decks, but as you can see there is just deck under there, so that would be basically where a staircase would be to take people down. Nice little skylight, nice little white roof on it as well. And that is just a view of this massive bow section here from the bridge of the ship. So that is a view of it. As you can see, plenty of space for Lego characters, and of course that is the Lego mast with the lookouts and everything, which is attached via these 3 cables. You've got a cable here, one on that side, and one on the very front, which runs all the way along to the lookout position. Of course, it doesn't go all the way up to this mast, but there would be a main cable which would attach to there, next to there, the top of the Eiffel Tower, then go down to the other cable on the stern section and right down to the bottom as well. So this would be pretty fabulous, and of course it is heavily based off the Titanic's mast, rigging and everything, of course without the funnels, but with the Eiffel Tower, honestly. So yep, next going along, as you can see, I've got a massive dome here made out of lots and lots of Lego window pieces, which rest very comfortably on this train track, and that is how I was able to achieve this very fine, this very thin curve in Lego. So of course there would be, there's just grates and stuff down there right now, but that would be where a potential ballroom would be, where the first class folks could, you know, come out, or just everyone in general, and just, you know, have a grand old time on the bow. And of course there is plenty of sightseeing to do from the walkways and everything. So of course that is where the first class ballroom would be. Next you've got the superstructure. So of course, if you look straight through the ship, you can see, let me open this door for you quickly, that there is absolutely nothing inside here. So this is a hollow ship. You can see all the way through to the other side. Of course, it is hollow because I did not have enough Lego pieces to make a full interior. But as you can see, there are decks and decks and decks going all the way down to the bottom of the ship. And yep, even more space in there. So in the future, I do plan to make some kind of grand staterooms and everything, but I do not have the pieces yet, so you have to hold on with me. Whereas in this deck here, as you can see, you have got some lovely, and I do mean lovely, bridge equipment. You've got all kinds of computers, handles, steering wheels, And yeah, it's just a very nice sight to look at, which I will show you in 1 second. So next you've got this lovely white bridge piece, which basically rests on top of the red section, which, do not have any doubts, is the main bridge where all the equipment is. This is really more of a lookout position with wings on each side, so you can see down the center of the ship. There you go, it's pretty empty. Next, you've got some flags here, just because, of course, you know, this is a neutral ship. We are Switzerland. We don't want to be taken over by any pirates. But just in case we do, let's say I've got plenty of defenses. Seriously, guys. I mean, who's going to mess with a ship as well armed as this? No one, that's the case. Anyway, so next, going down, I'm just going to carefully, and I do mean carefully, remove this bridge section. So does this actually lift off? It's not actually attached to anything. I'm just going to rest it comfortably down there for now. And then we're going to take the roof off. So let me just peel this thing off quickly. It is actually very easy to detach. So next I will unclip that and just put it to one side by this lovely lady in the lifeboat. Anyway, so next, that is the interior of the bridge section. So as you can see, going along, you've got all sorts of computers, levers, steering wheels, and just a bunch of Lego pieces that I've collected over my long, and I do mean long, Lego career. So that is the interior of the bridge. Next, as you can see, that is just a view into the center of the ship, where you've got these huge, massive columns holding up the entire roof. And of course, those columns give way to the superstructure, which is how the ship is able to hold up these massive railways, and of course the weight of the top of the Eiffel Tower section. So that is it. It looks very much like a huge Lego cathedral, but of course, you know, much more mechanical and empty and less grand and ornate, but you know, still pretty spectacular. Anyway, so next, going along, as you can see, we've got the stateroom. So of course, you've got the lower levels of the ship where you've got storage. Next, going up, you've got some passenger rooms, but they don't have windows. Next, you've got some passenger rooms with windows. Next, you've got some lovely staterooms. And next, I plan for this level to be a whole long, you know, mezzanine kind of dining space. So that is basically the layout of the floors. And as you can see, if we count them, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I want to say that, yeah, 7 floors. I'm happy with that. Of course, you've got these things, but they don't really count as a floor. So this is 7. Lego storage tool. And this is, of course, the boat deck as well. So I've got a massive number of lifeboats on either side of the ship, and I've also made some lovely kind of gates, fence things on either side of the ship to make sure that people don't fall off, with a bunch of brown Lego chairs. And of course that matches the style of the lifeboats, so the lifeboats do have chairs as well. Going down the ship, you've got 4 lifeboats on that side, 4 lifeboats on that side, and of course that is not counting these things, that lifeboat, and these 2 more modern looking lifeboats here. So, and here are just all of the passengers, of course all dressed up as they would be in first class. I tried to make this very period accurate, so I only, you know, kind of allowed Lego minifigures to be on the boat that you would kind of expect from 1910, around then, because of course this is heavily based on the Titanic. But those are just all of my very fancy Lego minifigures, just all chilling, having a grand old time. And there is Wild Style, who was my sis, my girl. Seriously, I loved the Lego movie when I was growing up. Anyway, so next you've basically got these massive support arches running along, and that gives way to these train tracks, which I do have trains run on sometimes, just because, you know, they're there and they're going to be used. Honestly, like whatever I put on the ship, I do not put anything on it lightly. Let's just say it's going to be used if it's on here. And of course that is the Lego Eiffel Tower, so that is just resting comfortably on the superstructure, going all the way up, and I just think it looks really good. So I will back up a bit. And now that we've got to the middle of the review, I will just show you a quick 360 degrees of the ship. So here it goes all the way along. And of course that is with the bridge section taken off. So it does look a bit incomplete, but bear with me. So here we go all the way along. Massive Lego ship, again 14 feet long. Do not ask me how many pieces it is, because I do not know. I have no idea at all, you know. So here it goes, along, and yeah, that is my baby, basically, my creation, the Poseidon, or as the Germans would say, mein absoluter Meisterstück, or something, seriously. And that is the extent of my German. I do not know any German. Do not comment in other languages because I will not understand. Anyway, so those are, of course, all of the Lego minifigures. Next, moving on to the very last section, got some steering wheels on either side, piloted by some very hesitant crew members. There is a photographer taking a photo of all of these panicked passengers on the deck of the ocean liner before it sinks. What, sink? No, the ship is never going to sink, believe me. Do not watch my previous videos because I have actually sunk the ship in some of them, and let me tell you, that is a colossal undertaking, finding a body of water to sink this in, and also just balancing it on something where it doesn't entirely sink, because if it does sink, enough water gets into it where it's too heavy and I can't lift it back out and it breaks. Honestly, there's just like a lot of planning that goes into these videos, let me just say. Anyway, but not any editing. Anyway, so next you got some more train track pieces, and these are more just to hold the core of the ship together. So that is what holds this big section with the wings and the modern lifeboats on either side. And of course I've put some defences which come in the form of these massive guns. So I'm not going to launch it at the camera because, you know, I don't want to break it, but these are very powerful. They do pack a punch, believe me. Next you got some engines along either side. Next, again, a rail, which I was kind of hoping to have some kind of, you know, sitting gun on, which could kind of, you know, rotate and just like give off shots on either side of the ship, basically. And the same for the back one. So as you can see along here, you've got a bunch of windows, and this is just meant to be, you know, open to the crew, no passengers, just some kind of, you know, viewing deck with, you know, a lot of the superstructure. I based the wings on the funnels of more modern cruise ships, so that is supposed to be some kind of funnel. And of course, you know, it doesn't look entirely like a funnel at the top, but with the wings on it as well. I did have a spare pair of wings where, you know, I had two massive Lego planes, but I combined them into one massive Lego plane. So that is why I've got a spare pair of wings, guys, and that is where I decided to put it. So anyway, next, going down this side, as you can see, I have worked very heavily to the pieces that I had. So of course I had a lot of black pieces and I wanted them to be lower down because I didn't have enough to cover the superstructure. So it was going to be black, then I went to grey, then light grey, as you can see more over here. So it goes black, grey, light grey and white, and then as I go up I use some of the pieces that I had left, such as the tan or beige sand pieces, next to yellow ones, next some red and blue. And I'm very much working with the pieces that I have today, guys, because of course, you know, I'd love to make it all one nice, neat and tidy colour. But of course, as you can see, the ship is built in the style of just my piece count and everything and what I had to work with. So, but I still think I did a good job, no less. Anyway, so that is that section. Next, you've got a cable that attaches to the back mast, which is as tall as the front mast over there. And of course, that leads onto the very back of the ship, which is just there, guys. So of course, that is where Jack and Rose are there having a nice conversation. You've got these doors which do open to the centre of the ship, as you can see. Let me just open one, and as you can see, the ship is hollow, again, completely hollow, but you know, I could not make this any heavier, guys. So if I made it like any heavier, if I started putting, you know, in rooms that couldn't be taken out, I would never be able to lift this thing again, believe me. But anyway, so oh my god, Jack and Rose are just falling over constantly. Can you stand up, Rose, please? Seriously, good posture. Anyway, so again, you've got some more anti-aircraft guns, the black railing that goes all the way along. Next, a crew station here where you've got a chair, some kind of, you know, more observation point. Looks like a kind of suspended greenhouse or something. And yep, next you've got some lifeboats, some doors into the centre of the ship, which as you can see, if I open, you've just got more of the same, which is a lot of, you know, empty space inside the ship. So that is just a view into the centre. Life rings, life belts. It's much more of a cargo area, which is why you've got these massive suspended cranes, which I originally designed to run along rails, but they were way too wobbly with their base and everything, so I decided against that. I would just, you know, stick them onto the platform itself. So those are the cranes on either side. They are twins, and there is another grand window dome, which is going to be used for as a ballroom as well. So of course on the front of the ship, that would be the first class ballroom. On the back, that would be more the second, third class ballrooms or something. So yep, I will just put this piece back here now. And yeah, just maybe, you know, show you these lovely firework things. So again, I don't want to shoot them off because this is my garden and I will lose them. But yep, you can launch them when the ship is in distress and everything. And yep, then the very last part of the ship is another view of the interior, guys. At the very last part of the ship are these massive engines, and I've actually built a fully functioning rudder. So of course that can be moved in either direction. And of course, like the Titanic, there is one huge central propeller. Next, you've got two side propellers which do extend outwards, and of course the water line on the ship would be about, as you can see where the propeller comes up to, about here. And yep, so this ship would sit kind of low in the water compared to, you know, a huge ship like the Titanic, but of course, you know, not to scale because this is absolutely still dwarfed by the sheer size of the ship. So yeah, that is just the back of the ship and everything, guys. And I don't know, let me show you a aerial view of the ship quickly again. So again, coming from this entire section, going all the way along. There we go. And yep, it's just an absolutely massive amount of Lego. And I don't know, I'm really just, you know, super duper happy with my baby. Hopefully I don't need to demolish it when I move, because I'm going to be moving house soon, guys, and I do not know how I'm going to take all of this Lego with me, not even including the ship, but all of the Lego city that I have in my garage right now. But you know, we will figure that out when it comes to it, honestly. But I really hope I don't have to destroy it, but if I do, I'm going to have to be super duper careful, seriously, organising all of these pieces if I even want to have a chance of like rebuilding it at the new house when we move anyway. So I'm just going to adorn this bridge section back to here, and that is the full version of the ship complete again, guys. So again, I will just have it resting comfortably about there. And we have now reached the end of the video because I'm pretty much done with the review. I'm very tired and I have to pack this all away now. So guys, can you please feel sorry for me? Please, honestly. So yep, that is the massive Lego ship, guys. And of course that is the Titanic alongside it. So I will just show you a lot of more images of the ship before you go, if you're like even watching to this point in the video. So going all the way along. And of course, very, very similar in design to the Lego Titanic. All of the decks that go all the way along. And yeah, that is basically my massive 14-foot long, I believe it's 2 feet wide, Poseidon ocean liner, guys. And I just had a very good time making this video. So please, if you wanna, feel free to like and subscribe, drop me a comment. I try to answer most of them. And like if you've got any questions or you just want to tell me how, you know, fabulous my Lego ship is, which I will also thank you for. But yeah, that is my Lego ship, guys. I have been Danielle, otherwise known as Blonde with Lego, and I will see you again in the next video. So yeah, super duper hope you enjoyed and have a marvelous day, my darling. So cool. Bye.